Hi, I'm Ed Winchester. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another reaction video here. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. It's good to see my lovely Muppeteers every day here on the YouTube channel. Alright, so this one popped up on my feed. This is from Hat Trick Comedy, and it's called David Mitchell Loses It Over His Hatred of People. That's a fucking awesome title. So right off the bat, I'm like, well, I gotta click this one because you know how much I love David Mitchell and his rants. So that's for sure. Finish up my tea. Actually, before I started this video, you know what's funny? Because I have not been drinking tea very much the past... In fact, I think that was my first cup in about 2 months, I'm ashamed to say. But it's been so long that I had this cup on the last video that I recorded, and almost immediately I had to drop some friends off at the pool. It was not fun. So I need to get used to this again so that doesn't happen in the future. I apologize, that was probably a little too much information. So let's get on with the funny David Mitchell rant, shall we? Remember to like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want, and let's see him rant, because that's what he's best at. Take it away, David. There we go.
And first of all, I want to find out what is winding up David Mitchell.
Everything.
Yes, it's people who get annoyed when you don't remember them. I would like them to go in the room.
Okay.
Whoever the hell they are.
That was beautiful. Started like rain on a roof, but then...
Yeah, it grew on them. Look, I'm not saying it's good to not remember someone who you've met before. And if you don't remember someone, obviously you should try and conceal it. I accept that. You know, if you can't remember someone's name or you're not sure whether you've met them at all or whatever, just, you know, nod and smile, say nice to see you. Don't make it obvious. You know, it's out there that you've met this person before and you haven't remembered them. Now, I've not been remembered by people, and I've never made a thing of it. I don't think there's any point in making a thing of it, because something has happened somewhere deep in the workings of someone's brain. And there's nothing to be done about it. The remembering has not happened. In fact, the person who's angry that I haven't remembered them, I've only got their word for it that I've met them at all. But, you know, nevertheless, I do believe them because I am quite a thoughtless, forgetful person. But why get angry with something that my brain has unconsciously failed to do? What am I supposed to do about it? Go back in time to the moment when I supposedly met this person and then sort of do some homework afterwards, revise the people I bumped into at that party so that when I meet them next time, I'll go, oh, yes, hello, Steve, or whatever. No, that's not workable. Leave me alone. It's like shouting at children for not being clever enough. There's no point in getting annoyed. There's no point in saying, I wish your brain was structured in a kinder, more caring way. That's just not the way social interaction between humans works. We don't address head-on the issue of whether a person is more or less nice. So I say, if someone doesn't remember you, live with it, be bitter inside, don't get outwardly annoyed.
I must say, I agree with everything he said. I fucking totally agree. Yo, man. Yeah, that's happened to me where somebody has not remembered me. And yeah, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll move on. And yeah, this actually happened at I was at a house party. Was it a house party? No, it was remember the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight, and somebody who I knew was having, you know, a watching of that. There was like 30 people over there, and this guy had over most of the people that you know, it was mostly people I went to high school with. And there was somebody there that I did not remember who they were, and I had gone to high school with them, and I could tell that it hurt their soul that I did not remember who they were. But dude, I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. We didn't hang out in the same circles, so it was one of those types of deals. Plus, I remember that day he had a massive beard, so I bet if he shaved his beard, I probably would have recognized his face. But I remember that distinctly because he was visibly, hurt that I did not remember him. Not that I was an important person or anything. The farthest thing from it back, even today, I don't know why people think I'm cool. It's a mystery to me. But anyway, I remember I felt bad though, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, like I'm sorry, like I don't know what you want me to do. It's I don't remember you, so. But I like that rant. That was good, and I agree with every part of it. But at the same time, it's funny. Another great rant from Sir David Mitchell.
I took my mother-in-law to A&E a couple of weeks ago, and a nurse was dealing with me, and this porter said, he's off the telly. And she said, oh, is it really? And she was staring at me. It's a bit embarrassing. And then she said, what's your name? I'll Google you.
Oh, God.
So I gave her my name and waited. And she said, do you host Room 101? And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, that's one of my favourite programmes. How are you with names, Judy?
I've become quite good at pretending I remember people, and I just say hi there. I was in Blackpool a couple of years ago with Sunetra Sarkar, who's an actress on Casualty, and this woman was coming towards us, and she stopped rigid in front of us, and she said, I know you. And luckily she wasn't pointing at me, she was pointing at Sunetra, and she goes, do you remember me? And she was quite aggressive, and Sunetra says, no, I'm terribly sorry, I don't. And the woman said, I know where I know you from. Prison.
That's awesome.
And was there a little bit of doubt in your mind?
No, we just ran away.
I was doing a book signing, and a woman came up my family was there, and the woman came up to me and said, I don't know if you remember me, we had a one-night stand in 1997.
You see, that's polite.
Well, I definitely said thank you.
But she's saying, I won't speculate as to whether it is accurate or not, but she's saying you've had sex. But even so, she's polite enough to think that maybe you've forgotten the encounter. I think that's extremely well-mannered.
And she's attached a year to it as well, so she's given me some... I'm able to narrow it down.
Yeah.
It's like Google Earth. I've just closed it in just a little bit.
I'm with you. Well, why get offended by it? If it was me, I'd feel bad that you didn't remember me, rather than feeling annoyed that you didn't remember
Yeah, I mean,
me.
there's an onus on a person to be at least slightly memorable.
Yeah.
Is that something? Don't get angry at me that you're so forgettable. Get angry at your personality and the world. It's not my fault.
Sometimes you remember people for being horrible.
Yes,
Mary
everyone
Bale.
remembered
That's true.
Hitler's name.
Yeah? Yeah. Just the surname you've got, but...
Yeah. Just call him Herr Hitler. Don't let on that you can't remember his first name.
Here's an aide-de-memoire that a wife put together for her husband. This is a sign that she left on the door so he didn't forget his lunch.
What I find regrettable there
That's awesome. That's something Queen Boomer would do.
is she obviously has decided her husband is just obsessed with breasts and vaginas, and yet she's
Hold on,
still...
where's the vagina?
Well, because
That's an arrow. That's a downward arrow.
I see. I assume. What I was thinking is she was thinking that he would look first at the breast and then downwards towards the groin. There you go. There's no point in hiding it now. It has been televised.
What's upsetting David Mitchell?
Sugar lumps.
Sugar lumps. You take a commodity that people want to decide how much they want, and you congeal it in such a way as to prescribe a minimum dose. You don't get that with ketchup. Put as much ketchup on or as little as you like. You don't have to put a minimum of that sized clod of it. Sugar exists as a powder in a granulated form. Why turn it into lumps? What are you doing? You're only limiting its usage. You're not extending its usage. So, there you go. Sugar lumps. Why do they exist? Stop doing it. Stop congealing sugar into lumps.
I think I agree with him on this as well, but I don't think that's a thing in the United States, because I've never seen sugar lumps at a restaurant or a cafe or whatever, coffee shop, whatever type of deal you're going to here in this country. I've never seen it. I've only seen the it's usually always in there's a little container. Is there anything around my desk? Well, let's use the empty mug. Well, there would be a container, and then there's a bunch of packets that you tear open, and you can use that. And some of it's real sugar, some of it's that, substitute sugar shite that I despise, because why would you make fake sugar? Just have the real thing, So there's my rant for you. But no, I've never seen this in a play. I guess I would see it if I was in the UK. Here's the question: how common is that in the UK with the sugar lumps? Is that a very common thing? I feel like it is, because when I hear people in the UK, whether it's a television program or a documentary, whatever it is, they order a tea or a coffee. They say, 1 or 2 sugars or something like that. And I'm assuming that that's sugar lumps. So let me know how common that is in the UK to find these in a coffee shop or a restaurant or something like that.
I don't know why it exists, actually.
And do you know what? Well, one argument you could make. Let me play devil's advocate, and I mean devils. They're devils. Is you could say, well, it's a useful way to take, an amount of sugar, that you can then hold it, such as a sugar sachet. And obviously, a sugar sachet that involves paper. That's worse for the environment. However, there exists, and I have seen this, and the people who make these are the real satans of the world. Sugar lumps in sachets. A lump of sugar in a little plastic. Why is that allowed to exist? What's the point of that? The only defence for the lump, the sugar lump that allows bowls of sugar in cafes to get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and people have, I'll have that one, that's a bit of a wonky one, this disgusting thing. The only defence is a certain level of convenience, and then someone decides, well, actually, let's take the sachet that also provides that level of convenience and put a lump in it. And these aren't sugar sachets that have been left in the wet or something. This is a deliberately formed sugar lump put in a sachet. Can you imagine anything more diabolical?
I agree. I totally agree. Sounds like madness.
I think with sugar lumps, probably every sugar lump in a bowl in a cafe has been handled by at least 60 to 100 toddlers.
Yeah, you're preaching to the converted. But what I'm saying is, if you've decided, OK, sugar lumps are disgusting, let's put sugar in sachets.
That's actually when I told you about the containers with the sugar packets in them. Whenever we go to a place, go out to eat or something, and that's on the table, Princess Boomer just goes ham with it. She doesn't rip the packets open though, but she just takes them all out and starts playing with them on the table. So when he said, the sugar lumps have probably been played with by over 100 toddlers that day, I know exactly what he's talking about.
To limit small amounts of it. Why? Why? Render the sugar into a lump before you put it in a sachet. Why?
Because then the toddler germs won't get on the sugar lump you want to use.
But You don't need... The unlumpen sugar has the same sweetening effect. You don't need to turn it into a lump. You can just put it in the sachet. The toddlers can't touch it. You can have half of it if you don't want the whole thing. Everyone wins.
How do they stick it together? The lump?
God knows. I've heard they get Chinese children to cry.
Yo, he's amazing. He's amazing. Protect this man at all costs, please. He's, oh, God, I love this dude.
But you need sugar lumps to be able to feed sugar to horses.
Well, you may have hit upon the only use for the sugar. But firstly, the instances of equine diabetes are... and secondly, I'm sure we could design some sort of spoon for feeding sugar to horses.
Or a tube. We know they can blow out. They can probably...
Yeah, a sort of tube. You could give the horse a kind of sugar.
We don't want horses snorting sugar.
Because the other argument you could make in favour of the sugar lump, but you wouldn't unless you came from hell. Another argument you could make is that it saves on, washing a piece of cutlery, because you don't need a spoon. You can just plop it in. You still need the spoon to stir, but you shouldn't use the same spoon to spoon sugar in as to stir. That makes you a monster.
Oi! Are you going nuts over there? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. She was like, oh, finally, I got your attention. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Well, we're almost done here, okay? We'll go out there in a minute. I know you don't want to go outside because it's storming out, so... Anyway.
Those little tongs, though.
The days of those tongs are gone.
No.
Hardly any of those.
Not in Dunblane.
Really? The last bastion of the sugar tongs. If you're saying the only way to make the lumps hygienic is to use tongs, then you're not saving on cutlery at all. That got you.
But, as you pointed out, tongs are on the way out, and I, for one, would like to save the tong. In my house, I have sugar tongs. I have a coal fire with tongs. Any excuse to use tongs. I run a small men's clinic. I would be sad to see the end of the tong. And if you get rid of sugar lumps, that's going to be a major blow to the tong industry.
You're gonna keep the sugar lump to save the tongs.
Yeah.
This is madness.
My mum, every time she made a cup of tea, she put 2 spoons of sugar in it. And if we had visitors, she'd give them the tea and say, do you take sugar? And if they said no, she'd say, don't stir it. I swear to you, I didn't make that up. OK, so, this is tough because I think you're so right about all this. I would only say there are inane road signs, but when I'm driving on my own, I'm just glad of something to read. So I'm going to keep that in. The sugar lump, I can say, as a champion of the tong, I just can't let... Because there's nothing left.
The tongs are no good to you if the sugar lump's in a sachet. Unless you have tiny little sachet scissors.
It's like an arts and crafts project, dude. Oh, man. David Mitchell, oh, man. He's a joy. He really is. Dude, probably like the 5th video I've said, I could sit at just, not even a bar, just like sit across from him at a table, enjoy a tea, and just listen to him all day. He's fucking incredible. Protect that man at all costs. But yeah, but most of the stuff he said, I was like, man, he's got a really good point. I'm curious to know how common those sugar lumps are. I would guess that it's very common. I have yet to see one in a restaurant or cafe in the United States. I can't remember ever seeing one in my 37 years of being on this earth. Never saw them when I was a kid. Never saw them when I was a teenager. Never saw them when I was an adult. And I think I still am an adult technically, right? Although I think I reached permanent Muppet status at some point on this channel. So you guys let me know about that. But anyway, let me know what you thought about that. Room 101. I've never seen that show before. So yet another show that looks like it's just wonderful banner to be a witness of. So I might have to check out more from that. Anyway, much love. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see you again soon. Peace out, everybody.